Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Stacia. So since the last episode, I have spent a bit of time kind of cleaning up down here, starting to clean up. I've still got a little bit to do, but starting to get some of this area cleaned up, and I did expand our woot stuff. So this one over here was still identical to how we set it up last episode, running these Ender Dragons and Withers. That's still set up, it's just cleaned up. You can see I use chisels and bits and cable facades there. Set up this little area with our Stygian Anvil, our zombie spawner that we no longer use. Oh man. Let me check. I bet it did it up here too. I just ran a command because I've been trying to get rid of lag. Yep. Destroyed my armor stands and my frames. Even my old armor I had on the armor stand. That's unfortunate, but it actually, the command I ran made a difference of like 1 TPS. So I guess that's okay. I did have item frames here that had our intern, yaw hammer, and stuff, just for looks, but that got destroyed. And whenever I did it, it killed me as well. So that's why I've died again. It was from a command. I have been working on TPS for quite a bit. Still not great. I did bump it up by like 2, but overnight I lost like 2. So basically I'm back to where I was. It's not great. I don't know what's going on. But over here we have a woot farm. This one is running Guardians, Wither Skeletons, and Endermen. And it's running Stoke the Boiler, Head Start 3, Treasure Island 3, and Rampage 3. So we do have looting, and we're getting heads and all that stuff. Also on this one, I did go running around looking for some end cities. I found this one, which gives us a fixed spawn time of 20 ticks. Honestly, I think personally I would have rather had just Conatus reduction, because you can see I'm using almost as much Conatus on this as I am Enderman or End Dragons and Withers. And this one is meant to run a bit faster. And even after expanding my Conatus generation, it's still not the fastest thing in the world. We have over here, we have a couple more fluid vats. And you can see this one's running Cerulean. This one is running Byzantium whenever I get it, because they produce a lot. This one over here is running Celadon Essence, and this one is running Redstone. So in total we have 5 fluid vat setups. I could honestly do with adding like maybe 2 more redstones and just having these fluid vats feed it the purge fluid. That maybe, that would probably keep us up on Conatus for this, maybe, or at least kind of close to this, but that's okay. This one right here is where we have our Scale the Summit. So we have Feeding Frenzy, Treasure Island 3, Scale the Summit, and Rampage 3. You can see this one, only 342 millibuckets of Conatus. We have another Zom key, which increases our efficiency of Conatus usage to 85%. And this one is running very low health mobs. So we have Sheep, Phantoms, and Ghasts. So low health means low Conatus. So this one can kind of run through just constant and just produce a whole lot of these items, especially Scale the Summit is kind of the purpose of this. Also, I'm getting a lot of wool from this, gas tiers, things that I do need. But anyways, if we head upstairs, I have been working on expanding out. You can see we've got a number, quite a few more nitro energizing rods. I think everything is fully upgraded now, and I've added some additional ones. So stuff crafts pretty quick through our energizing orbs now. And also, if we take a look inside of here, we have 64 black iron and enough to craft 64 more. Most of this at this point, now that we have nether stars, this is all pretty, actually pretty easy to craft now. We have tons of coal coke built up. Litherite, we have tons of that built up. The nitro, I've made a bunch. It's easy to make. It's getting faster with each of those that we add. You can see crafting this is pretty slow with just the number of ender alternators that we've got. But we can just use time in a bottle for now to speed that up. We might add some more ender alternators whenever we automate this, but we'll see. I'm just trying to be fairly easy on the server. And what we're going to do today, we're going to try to push on into endgame, start pushing into that. I know that my base is heavy as far as performance, but I really don't feel like I have a lot. Like, I look at like my Enigmatica base for 1.12, and it's like I run just fine. You know, 20 TPS on there, and everything just runs great. On here, it's just like abysmal. I know we have a pretty strong server, so I don't know. Let's go ahead. We are going to need to get a couple Ender Stars. That's fine. Also, another thing I want to mention is we are currently up to 22. We're up to Nanorite now, which is tier 7. I have a tier 6 miner, the Atheum miner. So before too long, we'll get that, and at that point, we will actually start getting the Zerothium, which means we'll basically be getting all the crystals. And at that point, we can kind of take our time, upgrade, and I'm going to start making... I probably won't upgrade the crystal miner immediately. I'll probably go ahead and build a resource miner and then my ore miner. But we are pretty close to being done with the environmental tech kind of grind there. But let's go ahead. Let's get ourselves 8 of these. And then I'm also going to want a few of these nether stars. I have actually... We've got 256 or 286 right now. I had a lot more than that. We have 346 eggs. I had to use a lot of nether stars for upgrading environmental tech. There we go. There's a couple of those. I've also been running the digital miner for netherite and making netherite ingots because we are about to be needing a lot of that for environmental tech as well. But anyways, let's go ahead. We're going to need 8 infusion pedestals and an infusion altar. And that means we're going to need 18 black iron slates. We are going to need additional one there, so a total of 27. Whenever I was making that black iron, I was like, man, this is going to make a lot of black iron. Like, am I going to need this much? But I am glad that I made it because we're going to eat through some black iron today really, really quick, I believe. But there's our black iron frames. Oh, yeah, let me order the enriched gold. And we'll automate the... like crafting of black iron and ender stars and stuff like that here soon enough. Okay, so there's our 8 infusion pedestals. And then, I didn't think about this either. Okay, so we're going to need another 8 black iron slates. There's that. And then we are going to need to get... Oh, God. We gotta go to the elite crafting table, too. Okay. Alright. That's fine. That's okay. I didn't even... Oh my gosh, we're down to 14 black iron already. I severely underestimated this initial push. So, here we go. Basic components. We're going to need a lot of luminescence. Let me go ahead and just order... I'll go ahead and say 40. And we're going to need to get ourselves 8 basic components. Quest completed. I forget how much, and I'm going to have to make 2. I forget how much I hate extended crafting, like with vanilla recipes. I hate it. But there is our basic catalyst. This is, of course, just to get one of these, mind you. And then there is our basic crafting table. Woo! Now I need 4 of them in total. Okay, so I'm not ready yet. I thought I'd be ready, but I was mistaken. 2 stacks of black iron, not quite enough, but we do have the 8 infusion pedestals. Let's go ahead and set these up, just so I can feel a little bit proud of what we've accomplished so far. Because we do have these out of the way at least. And we're going to put our infusion pedestals there, and basically they're going to be 2 blocks out from the altar. And then we're going to come out to here. And we're going to come out to here. And then the corners are right in there, if I recall correctly. Of course, the Infusion Altar is kind of a newer thing within Mystical Agriculture, but it's going to look like that, basically. Of course, you don't need any particular block underneath it, but we're going to be building this out with... actually, I'll probably do a different block that runs around this. but I'll figure that out. But we're going to set up our Infusion Altar down here for our mystical agriculture stuff. Okay. So now at this point, I probably need to get another like good 2 stacks of black iron, I would say, because we have to kind of craft through this. Once we get our basic crafting table, it's not going to be too bad. But I mean, on the plus side, I can order these fairly easily, so it's not that bad. HLP graphite, we've got plenty of this. Probably go for 2 stacks of black. I think 2 more stacks of black iron, since we do have pretty much everything out of the way for the actual altar, except getting those crystalline ingots. I don't think this will be too bad for us. I'll have to get more flux. Flux is one of those things I should probably automate. But at the same time, I kind of want to hold out while the server is kind of acting up before I go too crazy with automation for our in-game, because we're going to need so much stuff going for in-game. Just basically more or less for short bursts, honestly. But we are going to need quite a few things as we begin moving into in-game. So, but the nice thing is that we can now do this. You know, I can order big bulk amounts of these nitro capacitors without having to worry too much about that. This right here is the biggest issue. I guess I probably need to just automate the assemblers and keep a bunch of like litherite connectors stocked, because there's not really any way to like speed this up. Maybe Torturino or something like that could do it, but I find having to use Torturino to speed this up is just kind of bad. Bad design and just bad on the server, so I'm not going to do that. May just set up a big amount of assemblers or something to handle environmental tech, mainly litherite connectors and stuff. The rest of it, I've been crafting environmental tech stuff manually. It hasn't been an issue. It hasn't felt like really grindy or anything like that. I think for black iron, I don't know, at the same time, it's like, I think within this pack, there's not much use for extended crafting outside of just the in-game handful of crafts. This is kind of one of those recipes. Rod of Shifting Crust isn't that good to necessitate that, I don't think, but Rod of Terra Firma, yeah, it's like Britannia got hit hard with these elite crafts, and it's just not that OP or anything like that. Rod of the Skies, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's mainly going to be used for this, so, you know, we might make an auto crafter or two, but... And we're going to start keeping items stocked. I think it's due time now that we're starting to move into the late/end game of the pack. And what we're going to do is we're going to put out interfaces, and then on top of these interfaces we're going to put storage buses like so. Bring our cables over, and then we're going to put in crafting cards. Whoops. Not in the storage bus, in the interface, like so. And then all we have to do then is just put our items into there, and we're going to say keep a stack of these. Do we want to keep 2 stacks? Let's keep 2 stacks. And that way, if there's ever not 2 stacks in here, it will order you know, an additional stack or 2 stacks or whatever it needs to of the nitro capacitors, because we're going to start using those a lot. So you can see that we can access the nitro capacitors even though they're in the interface, and then once it finishes crafting, like right now it's still crafting this, but once it finishes crafting that, then it'll go ahead and queue up and say, let's make some more nitro capacitors, and it'll keep making those. I'm also probably, once I get all those made, I'm going to go ahead and tell it to keep some nitro crystals on hand as well. A few stacks of those, because this is something that we're going to need just an absolute ton of. Okay, it has been a bit. We actually have TPS fixed. I did quite a bit of testing and messing around. Then Severe kind of taught me how to actually use the Spark profiler, because I was trying to do it through Discord and it wasn't giving me any information. I had to do it from in-game. And so with that, I was able to mess around. Severe pointed out that drawers with AE2, with storage bus, cause a lot of lag, and also simple storage networks plugged up to a colossal chest causes a lot of issues. So it was kind of a combination of my drawers and Orbidlo's simple storage network colossal chest. So we have both of those disconnected now, and our TPS is much, much better. Actually managed to get it up to 20, though we kind of come and go as we plug things up that we need to use until we get everything kind of situated. So right now my drawers are not plugged up, so my AE system doesn't have everything, but whenever I need to autocraft, I plug it up and I let it run, and then I kind of come back to it. Other than that, AE2 seems good. Like, disconnecting the whole AE2 system doesn't adjust the TPS much at all. Simple storage networks does seem to be a lot more intensive on resources than AE2, strangely. But it doesn't have as big of an impact when plugged up to storage drawers. So storage drawers, just in general, not a good idea with AE2. So we're going to be kind of moving away from that. I'm still going to keep my storage drawers, but I'm going to have AE2 interface in a different way. I've got a couple ideas for that. I mean, we could always go with refined storage. I don't think that issue exists with refined storage, so that is something to consider. And maybe moving forward for 1.16, I may prioritize refined storage over AE2. Not great, but if I'm going to use drawers, I think it'll be a better option, maybe. But anyways, we did run through and made a bunch more nitro capacitors. It's been almost a day since the last recording, but most of my time, to be fair, was taken up with doing a bit of bug testing or performance testing. But we're going to go ahead and get ourselves another batch of black iron. Go ahead and speed this up, and everything is actually running a bit more smoothly now. Like I said, it did get up to 20 TPS. I know my base is pretty intensive, to be sure, but as we prepare to move into endgame, it kind of can't be helped. I think for the most part, everything that we've got is pretty server friendly. Like I said, I did go through and adjusted my XNet stuff to not, because now in 1.16 it auto sets to 10 ticks for extractions and stuff like that, so I did turn a lot of that up, which does tend to make a pretty big difference. Also removed a lot of our pipes from the pipes mod. We still have a few in places, but I am in the process of removing those. So you can see I changed over to mechanism. I don't know, though. I feel like mechanism probably isn't much better, but at least for logistical transporters, I think it's a bit better. So kind of changing over to that. But there is 2 stacks of black iron, and now we get back into the great fun of crafting some more. I still have a few, now that I think about it, I still have some other drawers, because like plastic and treated wood is one, and chests and oak slabs, HDPE pellets. Probably change some of those over to like black hole tanks or something. Or just, I gotta basically just overhaul storage beyond the colossal chest. Colossal chest didn't really seem to make much difference, but anyways, we're gonna get ourselves let's go ahead and go for these. I'm gonna need 27 to get this, and I'm gonna need 24 of these in addition to the ones that we've already made. Yeah, we should be good on black iron. It's just, it's so expensive up front. And then we're gonna need 3 of these, and then I think we can get let's get 3 more of these. There we go. Okay, now we're going to need another 18. Let's go ahead and just get 27 of these. Oh, 4 stacks. It's still gonna be tight. I think we're gonna have enough, but man, there we go. Okay, and then we're gonna get I'm gonna need gold and gold blocks and diamonds and diamond blocks. Okay, and then I'm gonna need 16 of these. I'm gonna have to get more luminescence. Then we'll get 2 of those, and we're gonna get 2 of these. Okay, and then all we have to do is get these. I missed the advanced component. It doesn't matter because we're going to have to make more later. I just didn't put them in my inventory, but that's fine. And then 1 of these. And then that. Okay, so there's our elite crafting table. Yay. Oh, it's such a pain. Such a pain. Alright, we'll just put this down, say right in there for now. And then if we pull up our mystical agriculture, what we were needing to make is the crystalline catalyst. I need more black iron. No, I do. I'm gonna need 8, 9, 18. Yeah, I don't think I have enough, do I? 4 short. Okay. Luckily, we have plenty of nitro, because I do have that being stocked now. Yeah, we should be good. But I'm kind of running on fumes for black iron. I'm going to have to get some more of this stuff built up. We're actually going to automate making black iron soon. Basically, once I get storage sorted out. But until I get storage sorted out, there's not a whole lot of point in it, I guess. Okay, but we're going to need 8 of these. Our crystalline catalyst. Yeah, it's just this. Let me go ahead and put that in. And then we need, let's see, crystalline ingot is basically just diamonds, lapis, iron, gold, nether stars. So I'm just going to get a stack of each and we're just going to make whatever we can. I think these will be used in other stuff, right? Yeah, ultimate ingots. So we'll need them anyways. But the nice thing is that the way that we have everything set up, everything runs just fine. You know, nothing really has to run through the AE2 system. The only thing is like nether stars and dragon eggs. There we go. And we're going to get our 8 crystalline components. And then we can get our 2 crystalline catalysts. And now, at long last, the time has come. We're going to get our Infusion Altar. Oh yeah, enriched gold. Okay, there is our Infusion Altar. Bum, 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 bum. And for now, we'll just get a lever. I'll probably spice it up, maybe with some cyclic wireless redstone or something. But we have this, and now we can actually start into mystical agriculture, which is going to be a whole nother beast, to be sure. But we'll put that in. We can hit it with redstone, and that'll activate it once we have stuff on the altar. Now, if we pull up mystical agriculture, but we can make ourselves mystical agriculture seeds. I hadn't noticed. I never locked these drawers, so I've gotten like a lot of like random junk inside of this. So I'm gonna have to clear this out, actually. Anyways, let me get some Infernium. I guess really the best thing to do, first and foremost, is just going to go for the Master Infusion Crystal, I think. Because they're actually pretty cheap to craft. Let's get ourselves just a bunch of Infernium. Because I've got a lot. To the point, honestly, I don't know that I'll necessarily... Because this thing, I just increased the storage on this, like, before, like, last night. And it ran through and made a lot of Infernium. And with this being on a server, not to mention I do have Infernium coming in over here as well. Once we start running the Void Ore Miner, I really don't think we're going to need Infernium crops. If we find that we need them, we can add them. But I feel like I'd rather avoid the TPS issue that will come with it. So I think we're going to avoid that. So we're just going to go for the Infernium. Forgot to grab Prosperity Shards. And then let's go ahead and make ourselves a Prosperity Gemstone. And then we're going to turn that into the Infernium Gemstone. And then we'll get our Infernium Fusion Crystal. And then basically it's just a process of tearing up at this point. We just got to get some Prudentium, upgrade. We'll do that. There's some Prudentium. Probably just go ahead and do a lot of this, like a stack. We've got 208 uses. Let's go ahead and do more. Might as well just go ahead and upgrade all this, really. So there we go. Now I don't know if we can... It has to be full durability. That is perfectly fine, because what we can do for now is... let me move my powered diamond anvil over. Oh no, we can't do that. Okay. There's probably some other ways to repair. Maybe Project E probably could. Like the repair talisman. Maybe that would work. I'm not for sure though. I'm going to go ahead and make 2 for now. And then we can get our Prudentium one. And then to get our Tertium, we're going to need 4. I think it's the same all the way through. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and make another Prudentium one. It's not really that much more essence in the long run. In all honesty. So we'll just go ahead. There's a bit of that. Then we can get our Tertium. And then we can get this, upgrade it. There we go. There's that. Okay. Now at this point, we just need a Supremium one, and then we need a Supremium one there. That does work. Derp. It didn't work through the 82 system, though. Like, it wouldn't let me do it. Like, I'm almost positively sure that I tried that. Let me try again. So there's 4 of those. So if I put this in... Yeah, it says I don't have it. If I put this in... It does let me... I could have swore I just put that in. Okay, never mind. I didn't have to make as many as I thought I did. I could have swore I put it in here and it didn't work, but maybe I'm just losing my mind. That's very, very possible. Okay, so we have a Supremium Infusion Crystal now. Awesome. Now we just need a bunch of Essence. I think it comes out to be... Is it 4 stacks of Infernium to each Supremium? Or Insanium, I mean. I want to say something like that. So really, we're going to need those gemstones anyways for more Infernium crystals, because we're going to eat through these. Pretty heavy right here. And once we get the master, we don't have to worry about durability and all that anymore. Which will make our lives a lot easier. Go, there's a stack of that. And then we get 16 of those. 4 of those. Oh, it's... Oh, okay. It's 16 stacks to each Insanium. That's fine. Not really a big deal. But there's our very first Insanium essence. So, yay. Okay. This would be a whole lot easier. I tell you what. I'm the only person on right now. Just to make this a whole lot easier for us. I know it's going to take my TPS. But until I get things switched over. Just going to make things a little bit easier here. Yeah, see, I'm going to need those infusions that I got. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stacks. Hey, this is real bad laggy right now. Oh, man, that's terrible. It's painful. It takes like 5 seconds to do anything. And that, there we go. There's 4 Insanium. And then what we can do is just... Boom. Drop that in there. There we go. There's our Master Infusion Stone. Goodbye, old stones. Okay, now let me go disconnect this monstrosity. I feel like this has gotten worse somehow. Like it's just progressively gotten worse, and then I'll remove this and it'll be like, yay. Oh, happy day. Oh, I think it put my, did put my crystals down here. Yeah, I gotta clean this up, lock these drawers. I'll do that here shortly. Okay, now we can turn our attention over, really, to Mystical Agriculture, because Master Infusion Stone, if you can get this out of the way immediately, it's always best to do it, because making essences otherwise is just super annoying and costly, time-consuming and all that. Let's go ahead and look at, like, the top-tier stuff, like Terra Steel, super cheap to make, but Nether Star Seeds, Dragon Egg Seeds, Nitro Crystal Seeds, all this stuff. Also, what I really like to get is this right here, because we can start making our Uaterium piles. Because we're going to have to run these a lot to get a lot of these, to make a lot of these, to make pretty much a lot of the stuff. Like these pearls are used for a massive amount of stuff. So I do want to get those 3 knocked out, plus Nitro Crystal Seeds. that recipe right there, and we get nitro crystals. So that way I can stop making these, and we can have pretty much endless free black iron at that point. So to get these, they are just the prosperity seed base, 4 insanium, and then 4 of that material. And I think that's what we're going to spend our very first bits of stuff on. I'm thinking what we might do. Let me see, because I can still downgrade these, right, in this version. I can just take, yeah, I can just do that. What we might do is just go ahead and start compressing everything into insanium, I think. So give me 1 second here. Let me get a couple things together. Okay, so for right now, what we're going to do, this will change once I have everything plugged up to E2 and get all this changed over. But for now, we're going to find our Infernium essence areas. We're going to put logistical sorters on there. Oh yeah, this was old. We're going to make a new filter, and we're going to say item stack Infernium, and that should be good. We're going to say just pull all that out, and we're going to send it to a yellow-gray ender chest, which is going to be sitting right here. It's going to start pulling that out, and then we're going to come over. We're going to do the same thing over here on this side, because basically I've got 2 different places where Infernium's going. So we've got some coming from the mob farm and some coming from this area. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pull off this, pull off this, set it there, and then switch that one. And just bear in mind, this is just temporary until we can actually plug this up with AE2. So that comes out. Delete that. That was from the old sand setup. That, and then we'll just put in our yellow gray ender chest. Okay, so there's those, and then we're going to come up to here. So we'll just put our ender chest in right there, our logistical transporter there, and let's go. We're going to teach it a couple recipes here. We're going to say that if you take that and you take this, that's going to make Prudentium. Let's set it to on to activate for just a minute, and let's put in Prudentium in like that. And we're going to say remember the current items, and then we're going to go ahead and set it to ignore. Okay, then back to on to activate. We're going to do another recipe here and teach it that, which we could set it up to store the different essences, but we're not going to, I don't think. We really won't be using any of these essences outside of just crafting seeds a couple times, and that'll be it. So then let's go ahead, set this to ignore, and back to on to activate. Make another recipe here, and these are all going to stay in the internal buffers. Go ahead and apply that, and remember again, ignore, and then we're going to set another recipe here. That, apply. Let me go get more essence. Well, actually, I've got essence right here. And let me just throw all this in there. Let me forget that recipe for just a minute. Ignore. There we go. And then we'll set this recipe up. Apply. And remember these. Then we're going to have one more recipe here. We're going to set it to EXTC, which means that the finished item is going to go into here. But the Master Infusion Crystal will stay in here, and then we'll just say this is going to be that, apply, and we'll just go ahead and remember that. That's fine. We'll leave those other 2 spaces open. It's not really a big deal. So we'll go ahead and set that to ignore, and then we'll go ahead and tell this to start extracting. We'll start pulling those items out. And there we go. So that's kicking away. You can see we're getting some insanium as this pulls this out, and we're getting rid of a lot of this Infernium now. But we can just pull this insanium out now. Okay, now what we can do is let's take a look at the seeds. I think it was just like prosperity and again, these are all mob seeds. We'll get into those. But okay, it was just insanium. It was prosperity seeds. That's easy enough. And then just 4 of those items. It's funny because we just got our woot farm. We're already like kind of replacing it, though I am going to keep the woot farm running, but yeah, we're kind of replacing it for that, which is good. But this doesn't require any kind of material inputs, so that's a plus, to be sure. Alright, so what we're going to do, let's get ourselves some seeds, and I imagine we're going to be making a bunch of these, so let's go ahead. We got plenty of prosperity shards anyways. Go ahead and get ourselves a stack of prosperity seed bases, and then we can go craft our first 3 seeds. And these are pretty much required for progression. Everything else isn't really required. We can drop that into there. We can drop our nether stars in, and our nitro crystals. Sorry, I don't know what I'm trying to make here. Insanium. Hit that with some redstone. Okay. There is our nether star seeds. And then what we can do is just replace all this and then do, say, the nitro crystals. As you can see, it's going to be super easy to move through mystical agriculture at this point. Everything is really, really cheap. Now that we've got essences and stuff, and really the only tier 6, like if we take a look here, tier 6 is, I don't know why it shows those, but I think tier 6 is just these 3 are the only mystical agriculture, because it's just mystical agriditions that adds tier 6 stuff. So everything else is just going to be super premium, which of course we can just take that, and there's 4. You know, that's enough to make 1 seed, for example. So at this point we can easily expand out, and I will be expanding out kind of as I'm switching everything over to 82, because I do want to get things like steel seeds up and going. I've been making steel, it's been fine, just using mechanism, but now we can make steel seeds and not have to worry about it as we begin pushing into endgame. So, but there's those 3, and this is what we're going to need to make the Uaturium pearls, and we're going to have to start getting that underway because we have to make an absolute ton of these things. But at the same time, we can also make nitro stuff and subsequently black iron very, very easily at this point. So we'll grab our, I guess we'll go with botany pots. And what's it take to make the soil? That is just insanium essence and farmland. Does this count as a hoe for the purpose of, no. But I think I can just use a stone hoe. There we go. We're going to get 3 farmland. Looks like we actually ran through all of our insanium, but that's okay. We got most of the cost out of the way now. We can go ahead and get ourselves insanium farmland. And this stuff can be ran through a botany pot. You can see it drops off like 27 seconds there. 20 seconds for potatoes. I think for the dragon egg seeds, for example, we can drop off 1 minute and 41 seconds. Which is pretty good. So we'll be going with that for our seeds here. So we'll just put our drawers in. There are botany pots. I gotta get one more drawer here in just a second. Drop in our insanium farmland, and then we can drop in like our nitro crystal seeds. And you can see it's gonna take 32 seconds, and every time that it runs, then we're gonna get some essence. Then we'll get nether stars. Oh, those grow. Oh no, those grow slow. Okay, it's 2 minutes. Worst comes to worst too, we can always use Torturino to speed these up. But from what I understand, botany pots with Torturino, very, very laggy. So it's not something that we'll probably use a lot of. That's okay. We do have another source of nether stars, so this is just kind of more for the essence. I think more than anything, and this we will use a lot for multiple things. And then every time that it goes off, we will get ourselves 1 essence. Okay. That's fine. Remember, this is on a server, so it's going to run passive. Okay, and there we go. I went ahead and sped these up just to go ahead and get some in the buffers. But as you can see, we have all of these running. Those really kick through. And then we can start, basically we can start making Uaturium pearls, and I can start making nitro essence a lot easier. It does make a little bit less. It makes 12 instead of 16, but it's basically instant. And that way we can kind of have our crafter focused on making those Uraterium pearls, which we're going to start doing that and go ahead and getting those stockpiled a little bit here pretty soon, basically once I get 82 sorted. So I'm going to be working on that and adding additional seeds down through here so we can get all the different essences that we're going to use. I'm not going to go for like completion, having every essence, because there's a lot of them like sulfur, aquamarine, stuff like that we just don't need, rubber, a lot of those seeds that we don't need. But stuff like our metals and things I will be setting up, because we're going to start making singularities and things here pretty soon. Anyways, I think with that, we're going to wrap up this episode here. We got basically the basis of mystical agriculture in, and now we can just kind of start expanding on it. Just something kind of passive like that woot stuff, more or less. So, and then as far as essence goes, I know we're going to be probably chomping through a lot of essence. Like I imagine this is, yeah, it's out. But I do get a couple hundred stacks of Infernium. Worst comes to worst, we can easily set up an Infernium crop and have that going. But realistically, at the same time, we get, I think, more Infernium from our Blaze farm and our other farms over there. Because remember that these woot farms are also producing Infernium. 17, 20, 18, 50 percents, and then over here as well. Oh no, these aren't actually giving Infernium. That's fine. But then we're also getting them from our Blaze spawner. We get them from our zombies. We get them from all over the place. And our digital miners and things like that. And we're about to start getting ore miners here very, very soon, because I think I'm probably getting pretty close. Yeah, I've almost got 2.5 stacks of nanorite crystals. Oh, I'll probably need at least like 6, 7 stacks or something like that, so it might still be a little bit. I can add more speed, but I have a lot I need to work on, and this is going to be the last big push, and then we'll be able to get the tier 8 stuff. So, and then we'll get our resource miners and all that. So, these also produce dragon egg seeds and fertilized essence, so I guess I could have a bigger drawer, though I really don't care about getting the watering cans. We probably won't use the mystical fertilizer since we don't need it for anything in this pack. And I don't guess I have any use for dragon egg seeds unless I do seed reprocessing. Which we could do. But seed reprocessing usually for something that's just like passive free and just near infinite, it seems like not all that necessary. So I don't know. I may just do the single drawers. It makes it easier for us. And then in addition, if you recall, when there's only one output slot, it seems like it always gets that. So really it might just be better just to leave it as just the dragon egg essence. Because if you recall with the nether bananas, they're a really low drop rate. And we had a lot of trouble getting them. But as soon as I had a drawer with only nether bananas, we got them consistently. And I believe the same will be true here. Like if there's only space for one output, it will generally output that thing. So you can, as you can see, we ran this with speed upgrades. There's no real variation between Nether Star and Dragon Egg Essence. So I'm pretty sure we're getting both of those 100% of the time, only allowing it to output one thing. So I think it's probably better that we leave it like that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay updated with when new videos come out. Next episode, we will probably be doing, I don't know, we might go ahead and tackle Nature's Aura, or start doing singularity crafting. We might start that to go ahead and get that underway and get some of that out of the way, because we're going to need about a stack of every singularities. I was doing just some rough estimation. We're going to need about a stack of each singularity, give or take maybe a little bit, but about a stack for the end game within this pack. So not too bad, and it's only 8,000 of each item per stack. Of course, redstone, glowstone, coal, stuff like that we have infinite of. So that is pretty much, we've already got it ready to go. But we may start doing some item compression and singularity crafting come next episode. We'll see. We shall see. Because Nature's Aura can wait, and that kind of stuff we do need to kind of get underway, because I'm planning on crafting our very first creative item here in the next couple episodes. So there's actually a few in this pack that are pretty cheap, and then some of them that'll take a little bit more effort to get up to. So, but anyways, with that, I'm going to end out this episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.